Welcome to this beautiful Sunday. On the docket today, let's talk about the chicken tax. An interesting new bill has been introduced in the US. And for all of you who are up in arms about the selection of a new PM, because you don't know how Canada works, let's just go over the last 60 years of how Canada works. But let's start here. As of tomorrow, a 25% surtax is going to be placed on the electricity that we send to the Americans. Yeah, I'm explaining this because the word tariff gets thrown in here all the time. We have not imposed a tariff on ourselves, no. We're putting a 25% surtax on electricity that we send to the Americans. How does it work? Well, as you can imagine, we send electricity to the US, they have to pay us for it. At that point in time, there's an extra 25% charge that they have to pay to us. And that charge gets passed along to their customers on their side of the border. I'm hoping this stays in place, and I'm excited to see the reaction. All right, in the U.S., Bill H.R. 1936 has been introduced to prohibit funds for the armed forces to engage in operations to invade or seize territory from Canada, the Republic of Panama, or the self-governing territory of Greenland. This on the heels of the revelation that Donald Trump wants to take Southern Ontario. It's going to be an interesting few weeks. All right, for those of you who are either Russian bots or American trolls or misguided Canadians, let me clarify something when it comes to our 100% tax on Chinese EVs. It was a terrible idea. I don't like it either. I don't make these decisions. But we put it in place because the Americans put one in place, and we did it as a favor to them. Should we have done it? No. Should it be taken down? Absolutely. I think there's better ways to go about it. There's better ways to protect our workers in our automotive factories. A 100% tariff on Chinese EVs is not the way. Personally, I think we should incentivize low-cost vehicles, especially for small business and for work in general. Like this. Yeah, this Toyota pickup truck's about 14 grand Canadian. Bare bones. Perfect work vehicle. Why don't we get cool vehicles like that here? Why don't we get the diesel Hilux? Why don't we get this? Because of the chicken tax in the US. What is the chicken tax? It's 25% tariff on light trucks that came into play in 1964 when the Europeans put a tariff on chicken imports. Yeah, 60 years. Of course, the tariffs on chicken imports is gone, but the 25% tariffs on light trucks remains. Personally, I think carving out a little niche for low-cost work vehicles is a fantastic idea. You know the landscapers that could benefit from this instead of buying a $100,000 Super Duty? Come on, man. All right, the Liberals are going to announce their new leader today. Who's it going to be? Well, for those of you who are upset because you didn't get to vote for a new PM, I signed up and I voted for Mark Carney. Now, if you'd like, you can look up this article on Reuters and it explains to you how the process works in Canada. Now, when I see people complain about this, you're either an American, a Russian troll, or an absolute numbskull. Why do I say that? Because appointing a new PM is not new. Let's just go back to before JT, shall we? From 2013, why Stephen Harper should step down. Oh, that's right. Leading up to the election, the Conservatives were reconsidering Stephen Harper as their leader because he had become so unpopular. From Conrad Black, the Tories' best strategy, replace Stephen Harper. Now, of course, we know that Stephen Harper stayed in place and the Conservatives lost that election to the Liberals, led by Justin Trudeau. But let me take you back to before Stephen Harper. Prime Minister Paul Martin. Paul Martin, who was first appointed Prime Minister after Jean Chrétien stepped down. And before Jean Chrétien, Prime Minister Kim Campbell, who was appointed Prime Minister when Brian Mulroney stepped down. And before Brian Mulroney, Prime Minister John Turner. John Turner, who was appointed when Pierre Trudeau stepped down. And speaking of Pierre Trudeau first became Prime Minister by appointment when Lester B. Pearson stepped down. Are you starting to see why everyone who's not a conservative looks at conservatives as if they're a group of people that don't do their research and have no idea what they're talking about? Yeah, it's because you get up in arms, you don't do your research, and you have no idea what you're talking about. So, as has been the case for the entire history of the country, whenever a PM has stepped down, the ruling party will appoint a PM. And unlike Australia and Britain, where prime ministers are chosen by legislators, here in Canada, you can join the Liberal Party and you can have your say yourself. And if you had done that, you would have seen that it's a ranked ballot. You get to rank the candidates in order of your personal preference. And today we'll find out who people preferred the most by virtue of the points they scored in the ranking. As of right now, I have no idea who the Liberal leader is, but I'm hoping it's Mark Carney. We shall see.